Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is going to be the first lesson I've ever recorded, and it was inspired by, weirdly enough, a dream that I had recently. And I was thinking about my students, my private students, and the best way that I could help them understand the fretboard and chords and how everything lays out on the fretboard. And with a lot of them, we've talked about the cage system, but the cage system sometimes is a little bit too cumbersome for some of my students. So I had this idea, and I was in my dream I did, and I was thinking about what was one thing that my private teacher showed me that really just kind of opened my eyes as far as seeing the fretboard and understanding what was kind of going on. And I thought about this lesson that he gave me on triads. And I did not learn the cage system when I was a teenager, when I was studying with him. But this actually directly relates to the cage system, and I'm going to show you how it ties together. But what I wanted to do was go through all of the different triad positions on the guitar, string by string. Now, if you don't know what a triad is, I'm going to show you that right now. So a triad is a chord, a major or minor chord or diminished chord. So we're just going to use the example of C major for this lesson. So the way that we find out what a triad is so we're going to take a C major scale, and I'm going to use this position right here. Okay? So here are the notes of a C major scale. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Okay? Also, we can refer to the notes, we can assign them numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1 again, right? So each major scale has 7 notes. Okay, so the way that we build a C major triad, or any triad in the key of C for that matter, is starting from whatever note, whatever chord we would like to build, we're going to do a root, third, and fifth. So C major is going to be used for this example. So if I want to find the third of a C major chord, I'm going to go up 2 notes from the root. The root is the name of the chord that we're building. So we're building a C chord, C note is the root. So 1, 2. Okay, that's 2 notes up the C major scale. That gives us an E. So the E is the third of a C chord. Okay? If we want to find the fifth, we're going to go up 2 more notes from the third. That gives us C, E, and G. Root, third, and fifth. Okay. So the key to understanding the triads in different places on the neck is understanding the idea of inversions. And this is a really good exercise for that one I'm going to show you. So an inversion is the order in which the notes of the triad are presented. So they are as follows. So if the root is in the bass of the chord, the bass meaning the lowest note in the chord, it is in root position. Okay? Now, if the third of the chord is the lowest note and the other 2 notes are presented above it, it's what's called first inversion. Okay? Now, if the fifth of the chord is the lowest and the other 2 notes are presented above that, then what we have called second inversion. Okay? So now we have 3 different chord shapes per string because we have 3 different inversions of a chord. Obviously there are many more than that, but this is we're just using 3 notes for now, so that'll just be 3 different chord shapes. And because the guitar is tuned, the 3rd string is tuned 1/2 step lower than all the rest of the strings in comparison, the shapes will change. So that's why it's important to learn these shapes so you can see how everything kind of ties together. And also I'm going to tie these chord shapes to the cage system. Okay. So the first shape we have, we're going to start with the lowest string, and then we're going to cover the 3 different inversions on the 6th string, and we're going to do the same thing for the 5th, the 4th, and the 3rd. We won't go beyond the 3rd because that's as high as we can go while still having 3 notes, because we have 1 note per string. So the first chord, right, you might see this as actually, some of you probably, most people know this chord, a C chord with a G added in the bass like this. A beautiful sounding chord. But we're just going to take these 3 notes, which is G, C, and E. Okay? I don't know if you can see my hand very well, but so this is our first shape. So this is going to be our 2nd inversion shape on the 6th string. And I'm just going to let you know that the 5th string and the 6th string shapes are going to be the same. So that's nice. Okay, cool. So the next inversion is actually going to be root position. So after the order of inversions goes root, 1st inversion, 2nd inversion, root, and kind of repeats itself. So after the 2nd inversion, we have the root position. So we need to find the C note on the 6th string. And we can figure that out by the knowledge of the major scale. If you don't know the formula for a major scale, you should know that too. It's whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. A whole step is 2 frets, a half step is 1 fret. So we can figure out where the next C is using that method. So I'm at the G, so there's going to be 2 whole steps and another half step till I get to the root note. So that's 1 whole step, another whole step, and we're there to C. If you can actually use your ear too, and the kind of, if you know that this is a C note, we established that earlier, you could 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go 5 frets up. That's another trick you can do. You can hear that these are the same notes. Guitar's a little bit out of tune, but it's supposed to be. That wasn't, right? Okay, so we end up with this shape, which is the exact same notes as this, and actually the same exact shape, except we're just using the open string. Okay, so now we have our root position chord for the 6th string, root position triad. Okay, now we have 1 left, which is the 1st inversion. Okay, 1st inversion means the E in the bass, the 3rd of the chord in the bass. So this is the 3rd of the chord. I just realized this, you could do it this way. Whatever the 2nd note of the shape you just played. So this is going to be the new bass note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. That's your 1st inversion. So all the chords we have are, that's all a C major chord up the neck on the 6th string. So now we're going to do the same process on the 5th string. And like I said before, the shapes are going to be the same. So this is our root position chord on the 5th string. Okay. So we need to find out where our E note is, our 3rd of the chord. And it was actually we just played the 3rd here in the previous shape. So that's actually 2 whole steps up. So there we go, very familiar shape. And I'm barring the 3rd and 4th string like this. As I was here, it's the same exact chord shape. Okay, now we have 1 more. This is the 2nd inversion, which is here. Okay, this is on the 9th fret. Yes, I said it right. Second finger on the 9th fret, the other 2 fingers on the 10th fret. So we have, and use your ear if it doesn't sound like the same chord, then it's not. So now we're going to go to the 4th string. This is where the shapes kind of start to change. So we have, okay, this is the same voicing as this chord we had using the open strings. Okay, so now we're going to go up to the next chord shape, which is I'm barring every note, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th string on the 5th fret. Okay, and then we're going to go up to root position. This was 2nd inversion, by the way. So we started 1st inversion, 2nd inversion. Now here's our root position. And you can see that this chord is sharing the same notes as before. And I'm actually going to kind of put all the notes together vertically, and that's going to end up being the cage system. But so this is your root position. So that's it for the 4th string. We can go up another one, same shape you played here, but without the open string. We have to fret the note because we're not using the open string. Okay, one more string to go, and then we've got the whole neck covered C major chord. Right? G, C, E. I'm just fretting the C note and using the other 2 open strings. That's our 2nd inversion because the G's in the bass. The next one we have is root position. And I use this a lot in the musical examples, like you know, that's right out of the chord, you know. And that's why it's important to practice this stuff, because a lot of the best melodies come out of a chord. That's what sounds good to our ears. So this is a root position. Now we're going to go to our 1st inversion chord, which is here. Right? And if you want to take it a step further, you can do this. By the way, this is on the 8th fret. Now we're going up to the 12th fret. Okay, so I'm going to play all the chords going horizontally, aka this way, like on the same string. And then I'm going to put them together. And then you'll see that basically this is like the cage system, but practicing each triad horizontally as opposed to vertically. And it's breaking each big chord shape into its triad basis and moving it up horizontally, which I think makes it a good addition to the cage system. Okay, so here we go. And what helps too, if you're looking for, if you don't really know these notes by heart, you can say the note names and also the numbers. So G, C, E, 5, 1, 3. C, E, G, 1, 3, 5. E, G, C, 3, 5, 1. C, E, G, root and 1 are the same thing. 1, 3, 5. E, G, C, 3, 5, 1. G, C, E, 5, 1, 3. E, G, C, 3, 5, 1. G, C, E, 5, 1, 3. C, E, G, 1, 3, 5. G, C, E, 5, 1, 3. C, E, G, 1, 3, 5. And one more. E, G, C, 3, 5, 1. Okay, so that's practicing all the triads horizontally. We can also practice them vertically. So what ends up happening when we combine all the shapes together, as you can imagine, we get the chord shapes of the cage system. And that's why the cage system is very helpful. So we can end up with the C shape. Right? Okay. Now we go to the next position. This is our G shape. The next is this one. Ooh, this one's kind of tricky. How do I get away with this one? We'll do this one. This is our E-shaped bar chord. And this one, which is our D shape. Okay. So I would practice this with multiple chords. Do all C. That's all C major chord all over the guitar neck. Then you can do, I like to use the circle of fifths, so the next would be G. So forth. So just practicing each individual chord in the different places of the neck and identifying what the notes are can be super helpful. And I just wanted to make this video as kind of a supplementation to all of the literature out there and the YouTube videos that are about the cage system, and I thought this might be very helpful. Thank you guys for watching. If this was helpful, you can hit the like button, the subscribe button, and keep up to date with more lessons to come. Hope this was helpful. Thank you.